I was holding the cake knife when she said it. Useless. Soft voice, polite smile, the kind that thinks it's invisible. She pressed a small brass key into my husband's palm, leaned close, and whispered what she thought only mothers could say without consequence. Leave her after the cake. I didn't look up. I didn't flinch. I smiled because the room was watching and I had learned the power of timing. I cut perfect slices, vanilla sponge, clean edges. I served dessert like a blessing, and when the plates were down, I handed out copies. This isn't a story about rage, it's a confession about patience. I remember the first time I met her, Sunday lunch. Her house smelled like cumin and control. She hugged me with stiff arms, evaluated me like a receipt, and decided I was a temporary purchase. My husband squeezed my knee under the table like a promise. I believed him because I wanted to. That's how trust works, quietly, until it doesn't. We were good once, not loud good, real good. Shared toothbrush mornings, grocery lists written in code. I knew the scar on his shoulder and the way he folded socks wrong. He knew how I drank my tea when I was nervous. We built a life that looked small from the outside and felt enormous inside. Then the pattern shifted. He started clearing his messages, smiling at his phone like it was a secret friend, coming home with a gentleness that felt rehearsed. His mother started calling more, long calls, closed doors. I noticed how he started standing straighter around her, like a boy trying to pass an exam he'd already failed. I didn't accuse, I watched. The first undeniable thing wasn't a message, it was a pause. He hesitated before saying my name, like it had become heavy. The evidence came later, hiding under our bed in a box he forgot to lock. Old bank statements, a second phone, a lease agreement with my mother-in-law's address listed as his temporary residence. Temporary, planned, signed. There were messages too, not romantic, worse, strategic. Conversations about exit timelines, about money, about how I was manageable, about how I'd be fine because I was low maintenance. She called me useless again there, typed it, bold in her certainty. I sat on the floor with the box open and felt something cold settle in my chest, not heartbreak, clarity. I put everything back exactly how I found it. That was the moment I stopped being his wife and became his historian. I didn't cry, I didn't confront, I planned. I met a lawyer on my lunch break and learned the difference between love and leverage. I documented everything, screenshots, dates, audio. I redirected my salary into an account he didn't know existed. I paid off the credit card in my name and let him keep the joint one, bloated with expenses he thought were invisible. I rehearsed the ending in my head, not for drama, but for precision. The party was her idea, an anniversary, her house, of course. She needed witnesses. She always did. She wore pearls and authority. He wore guilt like a pressed suit. I wore red because it photographs well. When she gave him the key, I saw the future she thought she'd already secured. When she whispered, I saw how small her imagination was. I served dessert. Then I cleared my throat. I brought favors, I said, calm, steady. I walked the room and placed envelopes on laps, coffee tables, next to forks. No names, just facts. Copies of messages, the lease, the timeline, the money trail, a mirror disguised as paper. Silence has weight. It landed hard. My husband opened his envelope last. He always liked to delay consequences. His face drained in layers. Confusion, recognition, fear. His mother stood up. "This is inappropriate," she said, like that word could erase ink. "Inappropriate," I repeated, "like planning my eviction at your dinner table." She reached for him. He didn't move. For the first time, I saw him without her voice in his ear, smaller, exposed. "I didn't want a scene," I said. "That's why I waited. Timing matters." I told them about the account, the lawyer, the filings already submitted, the restraining order against harassment pre-approved, waiting only for the signature I'd drop off tomorrow morning. I told them the house they thought he'd move into was now legally off limits thanks to a clause she'd overlooked. I told them the company he worked for didn't love public scandals tied to financial misconduct. Each sentence was a door closing. He tried to speak. I raised my hand. Gentle, final. "I loved you," I said. "Then I learned from you." No shouting, no tears, just the slow collapse of a plan that depended on my silence. I left before the cake was finished. Now I sit alone and breathe like someone who has returned a borrowed weight. I don't feel empty, I feel exact. I didn't destroy them, I let them trip over the architecture they built to exclude me. Justice isn't loud, it doesn't need applause. Sometimes it's a smile, a slice of cake, and the truth placed carefully where everyone can see it.